to the big story of the day and the big focus really all day on Mirror Now. They got caught because she went live at that point. That's the simple truth of what Korean YouTuber Hyo Park faced in Mumbai 2 nights ago. That's Tuesday night. The Korean tourist who is a life blogger, she typically streams her experiences in a city where she is and on a social media platform called Twitch. That's what she was doing when 19-year-old Mobeen Sheikh and 20-year-old Mohammad Ansari decided to behave like complete hooligans. They pulled Miss Park's hand, tried to drag her onto their bike, and one of them leans in to try and kiss her. Miss Park looks visibly shocked as she politely tells them to leave her alone, but her ordeal doesn't end there. What's the game changer in this case? And why it's the biggest story is that she continued to stream her experience live. That's how they got caught. Let's first watch that clip that went viral and led to the nabbing of these two miscreants within a day.
हाँ? इतनी सांसर? गाड़ी पे बैठ की? हाँ हो हाँ? Where are we going? हाँ. No. I'm scared. I'm dressed. Hi. Tomorrow. Wall. Whoa. Okay, no. Time to go home. Hi, bye. Bye.
Come this seat.
No. It's okay. My, it's all there.
Patient?
Huh?
Patient?
Yeah. My house is there. No. Home over there. Okay. Bye.
Look at these two. I don't know what they thought was going to happen when they started. This is an attack. They started attacking her in the middle of the street. And why did they do that? They saw someone who looks different. Look at the inherent sexism, racism, and racist behavior which is in this video. So what happens next? A Twitter handle with the name of BeaverR6 who saw this video posted it on Twitter and tagged the Mumbai police. What followed was the Mumbai police responding to it fairly quickly. Ms. Park then comes on and talks about her ordeal on the microblogging platform, and the two accused have now been nabbed. Of course, Ms. Park has been speaking to the media about her ordeal. She spoke with us as well. She's thankful that the cops were quick to act. But a few things that really stand out. One was how this YouTuber faced flack. She was victim shamed after her video went viral. You know what people were saying? Why were you so friendly? You asked for it. When you behave like this, what do you think is going to happen? She had to face that ordeal. And then the bigger question. This entire incident has, in that 1-minute clip, laid waste to a long-nurtured belief that Mumbai is one of the safest Indian cities for women. After all, this is supposed to be the city where women can wear what they want, walk out even at 1 in the morning. It's where women feel safe in public transport, going to work, leaving office late, socializing. But is that really true? It's time to look at the facts, and I want to pull up NCRB data from 2021. Mumbai has the second highest number of crimes against women in all cities. I'm putting out for you the top 5. Delhi tops the list. They had 13,982 registered cases of crimes against women in 2021. Mumbai is half of that at 5,543, but it is number 2. And the cases have grown over 2020. In Bengaluru, the number for 2021 is 3,127, again grown over 2020. 2020 is also an anomaly year, so you have to keep that in mind. COVID lockdown made sure that women were safer. What does that tell you about our society is a different story. Hyderabad saw 3,050 cases and Jaipur 2,827 cases. Most importantly, when I'm showing you these numbers, these are cases registered in various police stations. Do you think this case would have reached the police if the incident was not streamed live? She would have just been happy to get away with her life and her safety. Don't most women face varying degrees of assault, groping, harassment, catcalls, and they just shrug and move on? And is Mumbai truly the safest city as is claimed? We're speaking on this. We have lots of voices today on the show. We begin with Aarti Sathe, spokesperson of the BJP, Sujata Paul, spokesperson of the Congress, joining us on the show. Dilip Cherian, founder of Perfect Relations, speaking with us today. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Cherian, I want to come to you on the point that we're picking up on the show this evening, which is the tag of safe city. It seems like a great marketing strategy. Mumbai is the safest city, right? Is it really? Should this be happening then in the city where bystanders don't even come forward to help her?
Tamanna, it's a horrifying situation, and I don't think statistics tell us the real story. If you want to compare like to like, and as somebody who has played with statistics for a long time, there are ways of justifying the population of the cities, the kind of density of urban areas, etc. But that is missing the entire point. The point is that Mumbai is proven by this incident, as well as the raw police statistics, as a city which is dangerous. And that is enough. The fact is that our urban spaces have to be safe for women, safe to ensure that they can carry on their livelihood without the trauma of being either, bothered on the street, molested, all kinds of things. So I think that the issue is not just numbers. The issue is what is the sense of comfort you get in a place versus B place. And I think that, unfortunately, Mumbai has sullied its reputation by not just this, but a whole bunch of other incidents which have happened in recent times.
Absolutely. This is not the only incident. Others have happened. Ms. Sathe, today your government, along with the Shinde Sena, is in power. Law and order is under you. People will ask, how is this happening in your state?
Look, I had said this even in my earlier debate about a particular incident which had taken place, which is rather unfortunate that these incidences are happening. But I don't think the law and order situation has really failed. In fact, the Khar police station has moved in swiftly. They have arrested the accused. So the law is really playing its course, and the law is really, it's not a situation where women just can't move out on the streets. What really is more disheartening and what really needs to change, and that's where I think all agencies need to work, in fact, even the media, the government agencies, and the society as a whole, is really the mindset towards women. And especially in this case, it's of more importance because here was a foreign national. So clearly, because she looked different, was it assumed or was it taken for granted that it was behave with her the way the way these boys have behaved? So I think mindset changes are something which really need to be changed. Mindsets have to change against women. The objectification of women, the fact that you can just behave the way you want in the middle of the night or anywhere, I think that requires more attention. Insofar as law and order is concerned, we have been committed throughout for women's safety. In fact, in 2020, when we were not even in government, and when there were abuses and sexual assaults happening in COVID centers against women, it is Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, and several party leaders, women party leaders, who actually took a stand and told the Mahavikas Aghadi government at that time that, look, you all better get your act straight and see to it that in COVID centers these things won't happen. And that is when full-fledged women cop centers were started.
Sujata
so as a
Paul,
government, we'll do everything that is possible for women's safety.
Sujata Paul, is this not sullying the name of Mumbai? Today we're asking, is it still the safest city?
It certainly is, and it is also showing what kind of government we have in place, because you have to understand, it's not only about mindset. Mindsets change when governments and people who are in power, they lead the way, they show the way. But the Bharatiya Janata Party has only been busy in toppling governments and not talking about issues which are important to people. And in a place like Mumbai, if this has happened to this young girl, can you imagine the trauma that she has gone through? What kind of image have we presented to the world outside? That in our country, we do not respect women, but that is the way that, the Bharatiya Janata Party government has always behaved. You have heard leaders who have called other leaders 50 crore ki girlfriend. You have targeted women. So how is it that when your government will be in power, people will understand that women need to be respected? Women are not respected today. And where from 1947 to 2014, we were going ahead and we were empowering women. We were strengthening women, and we were also educating men
Ms.
about
Paul,
how
are you
should
claiming that in Congress ruled states there is no crime?
I am not. And I will tell you one thing, that wherever there is a Congress government, we always ensure that we educate people. We make people aware of the rights of everybody. The awareness, Tamanna, let me finish, please. The awareness aspect has to be taken forward by the government which is in power. And you cannot deny that when you do not respect women yourselves, when you talk about women who have been, when you're leaving your family, you say ki nahi nahi sannyas le liya. That is not how it is. You have to respect women. You have to respect families. And you develop a mindset and you take that forward amongst the people. So people think
So you are making a big claim. 1 minute, Ms. Paul, you are making a big claim. You are claiming because of the current government, because of the BJP, these two have been emboldened to do what they did. It's a big claim. Ms. Sati, do you want to respond to this?
I think this comment really doesn't even deserve any response, but since you ask for it, I'm commenting. I think it's almost shown that since BJP has come into power, women have been unsafe. It's not been a question of BJP coming into power or Congress. I'm telling you time and again. I'm telling you time and again, Ms. Paul, I did not allow you. I did not interrupt you.
Let her finish. Let her finish, please.
Time and again, I have said that let's not politicize these issues. These issues are far above politics. Primarily because it is something which I think all political parties need to come together and really stop this menace and make women feel safe. I think that is the bigger picture. Instead of saying your government was in power and my government in power, it was never the case that when Congress was in power, and Congress has not been in power much now really. And they have really failed on so many issues that, they are not even, many of their candidates are probably even losing deposits. So to even say that, when we were in power, we educate people.
1 minute, Ms. Paul, I'll come to you. Let her finish her point, I'll come to you. Let her finish her point, I'll come to you. Ms. Sati, have you completed?
People, in fact, no,
you're talking about deposits being lost. Look at this girl. She doesn't care who's won and who's not won.
No, I completely agree. That's why I'm saying don't politicize it. Work towards making, and Mumbai is a safe city. Keep up the image of Mumbai.
I'm going to get Ms. Paul to respond, but I want to come to this point for a second of don't politicize it. And we hear this often when there's any issue. Typically, those in government of that state say don't politicize it. But my point is that law and order, giving people a decent life, making sure women are safe, aren't all of these things politicians promise when they ask for votes? So shouldn't they be asked if there is a failure on these counts? And I'm not talking only about this issue. I'm saying that what do you mean when you say don't politicize something? At the end of the day, it's governance who implements all of this.
So because of the governance, the action has been taken. The two accused have already been arrested. So
because it was live streamed. Because of that one person on Twitter. Okay, Ms. Paul, quickly your response. Quickly your response.
The government took action.
1 minute.
The government had to take action because this situation got out of hand. One, as far as law and order is concerned, it is the government's responsibility. And if in a public place this has happened, what was the police doing? Weren't there policemen around? Well, you talk about law and order being in your hands, you improving the law and order.
Police can't be around at every nook and corner. Police can't be around at every nook and corner.
The rapists of Bilkis Bano are out on the streets today. How come what are you saying? How come in Uttarakhand it is
why are you shouting?
Ms. Paul, calm down. Ms. Paul, calm down. Ms. Paul, calm down, please. Ms. Paul, calm down, please. You can speak calmly. 1 minute, one by one.
You let me speak. Don't speak in between. The NCR, Tamanna,
NCR, you're not keeping the decorum.
that law and order situation is going from bad to worse. And look at the examples. Bilkis Banu's
Look at
babies are out on the
look at
streets
UP,
because
what it
the
was and
government
what it is.
of Delhi, in cahoots with the government of Gujarat, have allowed them to roam around freely. And one very important point: Ankita Bandari, who was killed by by a member of the BJP, his son. He is supposed to have killed her. He has been accused. But the VIP in that case has been protected by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So the Bharatiya Janata Party has always been protecting
I want to
those
play out
who
what
harm
Mr. Shinde
women.
has said today. 1 minute. We asked the Chief Minister of the state what he has to say on this, because, like I said, this has sullied the reputation of the state, of the city, and frankly of the country, because this is a foreign tourist. We want tourists to come to India to feel safe. There are lists out there of safe countries for solo women travelers. Doesn't India want to be on that list? I want to play out for you what Mr. Shinde said today.
महिला सुरक्षा का जो सवाल है वो हमेशा सरफेस हो रहा है. हम क्या कर रहे हैं उसको.
महिला इस राज्य में, मुंबई में आप देखते हो रास्ते पे कितनी देर रात को भी लोग घूमते हैं. यहाँ पूरी तरह सुरक्षित है इसलिए तो घूम रहे हैं. ये ऐसा केस हुआ है, लेकिन ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए. दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है.
जैसे ही ये घटना इसकी मालूमात पुलिस को हुई, आपने ये देखना चाहिए कि पुलिस ने बहुत फास्ट रिएक्ट किया. हमने जिनने ट्वीट किया उनसे संपर्क किया, वहाँ से ये जो पीड़ित महिला है उसका संपर्क किया, और साथ ही ये भी पता करने की कोशिश की कि कौन एक्यूज्ड है. ओपन सोर्स सोशल मीडिया से जानकारी लेके रातों रात हमने दोनों अक्यूज को भी अरेस्ट किया. और ये एक विशेष बात है कि हमारे तरफ से हमने एफआईआर लॉन्च करके कॉग्नाइजेंस लिया.
Mumbai police chief talking about how quickly they acted, and yes, they did act quickly. There is no doubt the Mumbai police has really acted quickly.
It actually happened.
No. But the thing is, do all of these cases get reported? In most cases, that's what I said in the beginning of the show. If she was not live streaming, if she was not live streaming, these two buffoons would have run off. And you know, if you look at those pictures again, I just want to play them out. How many bystanders there are just grinning behind? Just look at the people behind. They're just grinning while she's being harassed. They're finding it all amusing. Mr. Cherian, that's why I asked in the beginning, Mumbai is supposed to be a safe city. What is the definition of a safe city? There will always be bad actors everywhere. The point is that they don't have the guts to behave the way these people have, or they are stopped at the earliest.
Tamanna, the fact is that the security of a woman is also dependent on how other citizens respond to her non-vocalized cries or pleas for help. The fact is that here is a foreigner who clearly doesn't know the local language. And you have, as you said, those buffoons behind grinning away. So I think that it really is the role of education, public education. And here we are, India, heading into the presidency of the G20. We have to set a global standard. And it's very important that half the sky is held up by women. And women need to be seen as people who have an equal right to the streets as much as any male has. And every citizen on the streets has to ensure that you don't need the police to intervene everywhere. A bystander who could have slapped those kids and got them out. But no, the fear in the average citizen is so high, they will not interfere or intervene in most cases. That is what is sad, and that is what makes everybody more vulnerable.
Side of Mumbai, yes, perceived safe city, relatively definitely. A straw poll of women who have lived across other cities in India will reveal that. But also full of people who are perhaps so busy with their lives, they don't care about what's happening to the person next to them. And Perhaps that's what's reflecting. I want to play out what the Ministry of External Affairs has said on this. And Dilip Chariot makes an important point. We've started our G20 presidency today. It's going to be a huge event where people from all across the world will be visiting India. Is this the foot we want to put forward? Let's listen in.
Asked about a question which is actually quite a live story right now. It's also a consular story, so I'll be a little more hesitant commenting on it. I'm not aware that the Republic of Korea embassy has reached out to us or not. I would have to check. It's still a developing story. I've not seen any reports to indicate that they have reached out to us. On the issue of the individual in question, that's not an MEA issue. I certainly hope and I'm sure she would be given all attention and protection that she requires by local authorities. And if there is something further to that involves MEA, or if it becomes a consular aspect, we will certainly be involved in it. If there is a further update on this, we will share that with you.
All right, so that was the response from the Ministry of External Affairs. Ms. Park is feeling safe as of now. She's thankful for what has happened. In fact, let's quickly run what she said to us in our interviews today, where she was narrating the incident and how she was grateful that this response has come quickly. She's going to stay back in the city and finish her work. And I'm glad that at least we have displayed to the world that we will respond once it comes into the open. Let's just play out what the Korean YouTuber said today.
You didn't approach the police immediately, but what happened after that was this post went viral. Police took cognizance of this and arrested them. So are you, satisfied, happy? Does this give you some faith in the justice system in India?
Yes, actually, I was very surprised how they're taking action that fast. And one of my Indian friends told I wanted to do something because I feel very terrible after I went to the home. But as a foreigner, I don't know how this justice legal infrastructure will do. Do I need lawyers? So I was doing nothing, just sitting inside my room. But one of my Indian friends told me that I can post this on Twitter, tagging the police. Maybe they might do something for you. And that turned into a very helpful situation like now. But I also want to believe that even if I was not foreigner, even if I was not live streaming, I want to believe police would done the same, right?
As a foreign woman, has this left a bad taste in you? Do you feel discouraged in traveling here?
There are a lot of people say like, oh, you shouldn't travel alone in India. That's why it happened. And every time I hear those type of questions, I told them it's not about country, it's not about India. This could happen in anywhere else, right? Actually, the image of India hasn't changed at all. I still want to travel and discover India more. I met so many beautiful, amazing people in India. I met a lot of people who invited me to wedding. There was one nice gentleman who bought me like a chai or a pani puri on the street, just random people. I still love to discover more in India, actually.
So do you feel that just getting them arrested may not be what it is? They may get away with it again. What's your message?
My message is like, I think what happened to me is very unfortunate, but the more important thing is what are you gonna do after that? I hope this could be the example. And then this shouldn't happen to anyone else, not only for female, also for male. People should feel safe when they're walking around at night alone in India.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to tell, the state government, the police probably, because you don't belong to the country, but you had to experience this. Yeah.
Actually, after I woke up today, I got a lot of messages, support. People say, I'm so sorry what happened. And a lot of people told me that they want to help me and support me. I really feel appreciated.
Well, that was the message coming in from Ms. Park, and I'm glad that she still wants to explore more. I hope she and other tourists continue to feel welcome. Earlier in the day, I spoke with actor Poonam Dillon on this whole question of whether Mumbai truly is a safe city, and also the role mainstream cinema plays in making such people feel that this is the way to woo a woman, by assaulting and forcing her. Listen in. The distressing incident where a Korean blogger was harassed during a live stream has created waves. What it has also done is put the focus back on the claim that Mumbai is considered one of the safest cities in India for women. Is it really so? Look at some of the responses this blogger has also got after her story went viral. Many people commented saying it was her fault, that she is the one who acted too friendly. Of course, the two miscreants whom almost assaulted her, tried to kiss her, are now behind bars. They will be dealt with as per the law of the land. But how many are out there who don't get an opportunity to even report this? They just get on with their day, happy that they are safe. So is Mumbai losing its safest city tag? To speak on this, I'm joined now by actor Poonam Dhillon. Poonamji, thank you so much for speaking with us here on Beyond the Headline. I just want to get your response when you saw this story first and that video. It just so happened that this girl was live streaming, which is why these miscreants were caught in the act.
Absolutely. That was my first thought. I said, this is something which may not happen most of the times. There may not be a live proof. And always the onus comes on the woman to prove that, whatever allegation she's making is correct. So this was just a one chance that she was live and she had the whole thing recorded. But it really made me so sad and so disgusted that young boys, they look really young. This is the kind of guts they have. This is the kind of upbringing, sanskar, jo bhi kaho usko. It's really not something that you would ever want your child or yourself or your family member to be subjected to. Totally unprovoked, some guys come to you, and it's very shameful and sad because I think they see women who are foreigners as the target. They think maybe they are compromised or they are probably not in a position to have their family to safeguard them. I don't know what is the think in their mind, which they think they misbehave a little more with foreigners. I personally feel that. I could be incorrect, but that is what the body language of those boys showed. That because she was a woman, because she was a foreigner, they thought they could take those liberties and do the battamizi and absolutely atrocious behavior with her.
No, you're right, Poonamji. There seems to be this sick mindset that, they are easy targets. So they're easy. They will, come along with you. What really struck me was the horror on her face. She was so visibly shaken. And she tried to keep her calm. And then she gets responses saying, you were too friendly, you asked for it. Isn't that a story that all women can identify with, where you are always victim blamed at the end of the day?
That is something which made me really sad because even she has posted that on her Twitter, saying that some people told me when you're doing something as simple as blogging or recording a self video or whatever your live video, you are in your charming best. You're trying to be, pleasant and talk about something. And suddenly out of the blue, these guys come and she's not going to start using abusive language or hit them. She is being still in her cordial self. And that, I think, was a very, very uncalled for comment, saying that you're being over friendly. What was she being friendly? She was just doing her work. She wasn't telling those guys, okay, hey, let's go for a cup of tea, or would you take me somewhere? It wasn't any of those cases. And even if she was talking to somebody of the city, trying to get some kind of a story or some kind of a feedback on how the people of the city react to certain situations, she is going to be cordial. She is going to be friendly. And I think always trying to blame either the woman who is wearing clothes which are asking for it, or her behavior or her manners or whatever. I think that is so wrong. Why aren't they seeing how badly behaved these two boys were? Especially one who came forward and he was pulling her and he was trying to get so physical with her. I think it was absolutely disgusting. And I'm really proud of our Mumbai police that they acted so fast and so effectively, and they got those guys immediately. And I think they did act suo motu, and which was amazing. I think that is what I'm proud of our Mumbai police, that they acted on it. It wasn't just one of those things. And this was a tip of the iceberg. I think a lot of women, when they're going into crowded places, on the trains, on the buses, they do get a lot of unnecessary physical I wouldn't say assault in that way that they are not assaulted, but they're touched wrongly. They are, pushed and tugged and touched inappropriately. So those kind of things don't get reported. And women just kind of zip it up, suffer it, and they say, okay, this is how it is.
That's absolutely true. And it is in the legal purview of assault. But most women, like you say, get on with it, try to shrug it off and say, now this is life. That brings me to my question about Mumbai's tag as one of the safest cities in the country for women. This perception is there. Do you think that perception has been dented today? What has been your experience, ma'am, over all of these years? You've worked in so many places. It's always believed that Amchi Mumbai is the one where girls can breathe freely.
I would still like to believe that, because I think it is a city which is an amalgamation of so many cultures, so many different people from states and all. Everybody comes here. So the only thing which I can say is Mumbai is really the safest city, and people there have, ethics about how to treat a person, whether it's a man or a woman. But having said that, there are a lot of people who are from small town India, which is still not used to a woman wearing a mini skirt and going out, or wearing a dress, which is, according to them, quite mind-boggling. So maybe there are times when people react to women, but that is still, our small town India's culture is so respectful. They will never touch or assault a woman. They may stare at her because she's something which they've not seen before in their villages. But I don't think they are the types who are going to go and pounce on her or try to touch her. This boy obviously was a Mumbai boy, but just having the wrong morals, and he really needed to be taught a lesson, which I hope the police do teach him, and his parents continue that lesson and teach them how wrong they were. And I hope this is a lesson to a lot of young people who think that they're actually complimenting a woman by whistling at her. I mean, this is something, or staring or giving those hooties by saying woo and all that, that is absolutely disgusting. And I don't think it goes with our Indian culture at all.
So, I want to bring up something which maybe will be a little touchy. A lot of times when these conversations are had and we go deeper into them, and you talked about men believing and trained to believe that hooting at a woman, pursuing her, following her is a way of complimenting her. Then the question comes that isn't this what our mainstream culture portrays? Isn't this what Hindi movies portray? That a man shows his love by doing these frankly illegal and sometimes psychotic things.
Many years ago, I believe that was true, because I think we did see a lot of Indian films which they're trying to woo a girl is by, running around her, trying to just get her attention through any stupid and idiotic means. But I still don't think that makes it right. And now I think our filmmakers of today's generation have also changed their perception. I now don't see that in Hindi films, because they have realized that giving that as many years ago, I do think that was shown as a guy's way of manifesting his affection or his attention to a woman. But now I don't really see that in films anymore. And I hope that's not the only way men can get a woman's attention. There's lots of other ways of trying to impress a woman.
What would you hope to see in terms of making a lasting change after this? I mean, the idea of us focusing on this story, this coverage, is that it is a cautionary tale. That miscreants in society's jokers like these two fellows don't think that they will have a free hand. These two got caught because she happened to be on a live, blog, and she was live streaming whatever was happening. But how do we ensure that there's a lesson that goes out there, that don't do this to anybody ever again?
Yes, I think it starts from, it should start from the families, from the schools, and from the colleges. In our time, we used to have a subject called moral science, which was like a class which we all took, and the rights and wrongs were underlined constantly. And I think this is one awareness which all youngsters, especially the boys, even the girls, have to be taught behavioral patterns which are right and which are wrong. Yeah. And it has to be reinforced by the families after that, and it has to be again reinforced by social I would say people who are around watching, they should also come up in defense of any person who they see is being treated wrongly. So it has to be a whole societal awareness and attitude change. A lot of people, especially in big cities, they are moving on at a high speed of rush. They are not really bothered, or they don't want to stop and try to get into something which is not their business. But when any man is misbehaving or any girl is in trouble, I think it's everybody's business, because tomorrow it can be your family or your child or your daughter or your mother, anybody. So I think it should be a awareness about everybody, right? Starting from school, to be taught how you should behave, and later taking it on in a much, much bigger social level.
That's absolutely right. And you know, that also brings up the point that nobody around her came in to her aid to step in. Maybe it happened so quickly that nobody realized. But especially since we're talking about this in the context of Mumbai, a city where everyone's so busy and minding their own business, sometimes it's important to step forward and help. And maybe that societal pressure will ensure that this doesn't happen again. Thank you so much, Ms. Dhillon, for speaking with us today.